Picking a Micro ATX case comes down to clearances most listings vary, like GPU length, CPU cooler height, and which radiator sizes actually fit once fans are in. Get one wrong, and your parts won't fit or run hot. Let's break down what these numbers mean, and which mATX case fits your build. Let's make it clear. Starting off at number 5, we've got the ASUS Prime AP201. And right away, this one sets the tone for what a modern Micro ATX case should do. Airflow first, everything else second. The whole point here is that mesh. The panels are punched with tens of thousands of tiny holes, so air moves freely from every side. In a compact 33-liter box, that matters a lot. Small cases tend to choke high-end parts. This one doesn't, because it lets your CPU and GPU breathe instead of cooking them. And the compatibility is where it really earns its spot. You can fit a graphics card up to 338 millimeters, an air cooler up to 170 tall, and a full standard ATX power supply. That last part is big. A lot of small cases force you into pricey SFX units. Here you just drop in the PSU you already have. Radiator support goes up to 360, so a beefy AIO is on the table too. Now here's the thing you should know before you buy. People keep pointing out that it's bigger than they expected for something labeled Micro ATX. So if you're chasing the tiniest possible footprint, set your expectations right. This is compact, not ultra-small form factor. For most builders, that extra room is exactly why the build goes smoothly. The other honest trade-off is cable management. With a full ATX power supply and a pile of cables, the routing gets tight. There's a 32mm gap behind the tray and some cutouts, but you'll need patience for a truly clean look. The mesh is also more about airflow than fine dust filtering, so plan on cleaning it a bit more often. For me, this is a smart pick if you want strong thermals and real component clearance without jumping to a big tower. Tool-free side panels and USB-C on the front just make the daily stuff easier. You'll find the link in the description. Number 4 on the list is the Lian V100 Mini, and this is the one for people who want their build on display. Glass on the front and the side gives you that 270-degree view. If you're spending money on parts, you actually get to see them. But this isn't just a pretty box. It ships with 4 ARGB PWM fans already installed, 3 pulling air in from the side, 1 exhausting out the back. So out of the gate, you've got real airflow and lighting without buying a single extra fan. For a compact mATX chassis, that's a strong starting point. Now the specs that actually matter here, it takes a graphics card up to 415mm, which is huge for something this size, so a long modern GPU isn't going to be a problem. It also supports a 360mm AIO, so you can run serious liquid cooling. And there's an anti-sag bracket with adjustable height for the GPU, which keeps a heavy card from drooping over time. Little touches like that tell me they thought about the actual build. Here's the part to know before you commit. It does not take 280mm radiators only because of motherboard clearance. So if your cooling plan is built around a 280, you'll want to switch to a 360 or a 240 instead. And the cable routing around the PSU shroud gets tight. With a full set of cables, you'll need some patience to get it clean. Not a deal breaker, just plan for it. One more thing, this is single GPU territory with a 5-slot limit. For a normal gaming or workstation build, that's plenty. For anyone dreaming of dual cards, that's not what this case is built for. For me, this is the pick when aesthetics matter as much as thermals. You get the showcase look and genuine airflow in one compact package. The link is in the description. Number 3 on the list is the Cooler Master N200. And this is the budget play that still punches above its size. It's an older design, no question, but the fundamentals it nailed years ago are still the fundamentals people care about today. Start with the front. It's full mesh, so air moves into the case without fighting a solid panel. In a compact micro tower, that intake path is what keeps your parts from cooking. And it supports a 240mm radiator up front, so an AIO is genuinely on the table here. Not just a marketing checkbox. The clearances are the real surprise. You get GPU clearance up to 355mm, which is 14 inches of graphics card. That's full-size modern GPU territory in a case this small. CPU cooler height goes up to 160mm, so most tall air coolers drop right in. For a budget chassis, that flexibility is rare. And if these comparisons are helping you plan your build, subscribing really supports the channel so we can keep making them. Storage is another quiet strength. 3 3.5-inch drives and 4 2.5-inch SSDs. If you're running a build with a lot of bulk storage, that's more room than newer compact cases give you. Now the honest part. The metal is on the thin side, and you feel it. This won't have the rigid premium feel of pricier cases. Cable routing is also tight, especially with a non-modular power supply, so a clean build takes patience here. And since it predates the trend, there's no USB-C on the front, just USB 3.0. None of that sinks it. For a first-time builder or anyone putting together an entry to mid-range gaming rig, this gives you airflow, real clearances, and radiator support without stretching the budget. The trade-off is finish and convenience, and at this price, that's a fair deal. The link is in the description. Number 2 on the list is the Jonsbo Z20, and this is the one I'd hand to someone who actually moves their PC around. 20 liters of volume, with a detachable carrying handle built right in. That handle sounds gimmicky until you think about LAN nights or hauling your rig between rooms. What pulls this up the ranking for me is the build. 2mm bent steel panels, top and side. That's thick for a compact case, and buyers feel it the second they pick it up. The most common thread in reviews is the same one. It feels more premium and dense than the price suggests, with clean edges and no sharp metal to catch your hand on. When that pattern repeats this much, I trust it. The clearances are smarter than the footprint implies. GPU clearance up to 363mm, so most modern cards drop right in. CPU cooler height goes to 164mm for a tall air cooler. And it takes a 240 AIO up top at 60mm thick. For 20 liters, that radiator support is genuinely flexible. There's a removable PCIe fixing piece too, which makes seating a long card far less of a wrestling match. Little design call, but it smooths out the build. Now, the trade-off. It's compact, and compact means tight. Cable routing gets fiddly, and a few builders mention airflow needs planning here more than in a roomier box. Fan placement and a tuned fan curve matter if you're running a hot, high-wattage setup. So, pick your components with intent, and budget some patience for the cabling. Magnetic dust filters help on the maintenance side at least. It also runs ATX, SFX, or SFXL power supplies, so you're not forced into a pricey small unit unless your layout calls for it. For a portable, design-conscious mATX build with mid to high-end parts, this hits a sweet spot between sturdy and small. You'll find the link in the description. Before we reveal our number 1, be sure to check out the description below for the freshest deals on each of these items. And at number 1, the NZXT H3 Flow. Out of everything here, this is the one I'd point a first-time builder toward who just wants airflow done right without overthinking it. The whole case is built around moving air. Ultra-fine steel mesh on the panels and the PSU shroud, so intake comes from every direction and your dust still gets filtered. In a box around 35 liters, that open path is what keeps a hot GPU from sitting in its own heat, and the clearances are where it really earns the top spot. You can fit a graphics card up to 377mm, which is a long, modern card with room to spare. Front radiator support goes to 280, with 240 up top, and it takes a full ATX power supply. So you're not forced into a pricey SFX unit. For a case this compact, that flexibility is rare. Here's the part you need to know before you buy. It ships with a single rear fan, and it's a basic DC fan, not PWM. That's it. This case gives you airflow potential, but you supply most of the airflow. Plan on budgeting for a few intake fans, or an AIO to actually use what it's built for. It comes up again and again, and honestly, it tracks with the design. The mesh and the fan mounts are there, the fans mostly aren't. The other thing is that it's stripped down. Simple front I/O with one USB-A, one USB-C, and audio. Storage is modest, a couple of SSD spots, and one 3.5-inch drive. If you want drive cages and built-in lighting controllers, this isn't loaded with extras. But that's kind of the point. It's a clean, airflow-first platform you tune yourself, and the price reflects that restraint. For a space-conscious build where thermals matter more than frills, this is the one I'd put my money on. You'll find the link in the description. Now you've got the criteria so you don't get burned by the first one that looks good. On a tight budget with real airflow, number 3. If you move your rig around and want a sturdy, premium feel, number 2. And if you want the best clearance and thermals overall, number 1. Amazon prices go up and down. Check them in the links in the description.